Hello, this is Jacqueline Harris, and this is your tip if you relate to that feeling of not having time for yourself. So the other day I put a shout out in the Facebook group here when I asked you what is the biggest issue that you are facing right now, and this is the third top issue that came up amongst you all. And the Australian Bureau of Statistics agrees that this is pretty common. 42% of women relate to that feeling of being pushed for time, of feeling really busy. So it's a really important topic that I want to discuss with you, because if you're feeling pushed for time, it might be preventing you from being or feeling as healthy and happy that you actually can be. So I see this in women every day, and it is something that I live and feel for myself as well. And I see that women feel that this sense of not having enough time, it prevents them from doing what they want to actually be doing. And I want to say that I actually do think that the only person that can take responsibility for changing this is you. So it does actually require you thinking differently and also behaving a little bit differently with choices that you make. I really relate to this. I remember feeling really busy when I was working full-time before I had children. I remember feeling really busy when I had 2 newborns and a 2-year-old and thinking that I had no time for myself. And I also remember being really busy when I had 2 children less than 1, a just 3-year-old, and also working as well. It's all relative to what you have going on for you. So at some stage, you might not feel like you can take a day for yourself or a week for yourself. And at other times, it might feel like a really big task to just grab 10 minutes a day for yourself. But it's really, really important that you do, and you need to take responsibility for this. Because what I tend to see is that either people take responsibility for finding and creating some time for themselves now, or it catches up with you later. And you might relate to this because you might feel burnt out or completely exhausted, and in which case this is your body screaming at you that you need to create some time for yourself. So now is the best time, if you are not feeling totally exhausted and burnt out, now is the time when you need to actually be prioritizing some time for yourself. You are so important, and it is still so important that you create some time for yourself. So the very first step that I suggest for you is plan for this. Plan for this time for yourself like you would a child's activity, a work meeting, whatever you need. Whatever other activities you commit to, plan for some time for yourself as well. And if you need to, that may require you to actually ask for some help to actually make this happen. But plan for it. Put it in your diary, put it in your calendar, just like any other activity. And like I said, that might only be 10 minutes, but make sure you put it in your diary. The second step is to put your phone away sometimes. Now, that might mean that you actually prioritize and plan for 30 minutes of an evening where you pick up your phone and do all the things that you need to do. Or you plan to only check your emails when you actually get to work in the morning. Plan for that time with your phone in your hand. But other than that, put your phone down. People can waste 1-2 hours or more by flicking on their phones through the day. And that really does eat into time that you could be creating for yourself in another way. So put your phone down and actually use some of that time, or pick up some of that time to do something for yourself as well. Now, my third really, really important tip for this is make sure you commit to it. We all run stories, and we can all run stories in our mind. But I also find that there's a really common story that when we say we don't have enough time for ourselves, that we also therefore let other things get in the way of this time for ourselves. So I've told you to plan for it. But the other thing that I want you to really do with this is commit to it. Make sure there are no other stories, aside from an emergency, make sure there are no other stories that get in the way of this time for yourself actually happening. So commit to it. Feel that deep burning desire inside that knows that you desperately need this time for yourself. And once you've planned for it, make sure no other stories actually get in the way of stopping this from actually happening. You are so important, and you need to be able to create some time for yourself each day, even if it is just 10 minutes. So get into action with these three steps, and I hope that you begin from today to make some time for yourself.